Welcome to SBI's GTM Value Creation Corner podcast. Every episode is an unscripted conversation between GTM leaders, experts, and practitioners, discussing what is on the minds of executives, latest market trends, and SBI research and insights. This episode is hosted by SBI Senior Partner and TMT Practice Lead, Tony Erickson, who is joined by two guests from symplr, CEO BJ Schaknowski and President Nicole Rogas. Today, we pick up where we left off from the previous episode on symplr's success story and providing software for healthcare enterprises.
All right, let's get back to the business. So when we think about LTV, so you guys have talked a lot about what you've been doing to improve your go-to-market, your investments, multi in customer success. So how have those improvements to the go-to-market system ultimately resulted in bookings? We're privately held, we're SaaS. We all know it's about capturing new logos, retaining the existing, and expanding them. So what do the numbers tell you? How's it worked out?
Well, maybe CEO point of view, right?
Yeah.
And then sales point of view.
Yeah.
We're meeting, if not exceeding expectations, and we're just scratching the surface. We're in the first 3 innings of this. I mean, our product integration has another 18 to 24 months across the we bought so many applications, right? And this takes time. And so we're just getting good at telling the stories, even within the product pillars that we have today. Then as we connect our platform, the ability to actually serve cross-pillar becomes that much more compelling in the vision and the outcomes we can serve. But I will tell you that, if you look at our sales and marketing as a percent of revenue, if you look at our customer success and support professional services costs relative to churn reduction, the financial profile that we've created for our sponsors and for our business, even in the beginning stages of this journey and this story, are unbelievably exciting. And I think the potential to really accelerate in all areas is there because, and why, right? The leading indicator is in churn reduction, right? If you've got low churn, and you're always going to have some churn, systems are going to go out of business, systems are going to consolidate, you're not going to win everyone. We will mess things up. And I think we're unique in that we're a software company, we're going to admit that. Right? Some don't. We will make mistakes and we will lose the right in some customers to add more value, but very, very few. And when we do, we'll learn from it and we'll be better. And so if we keep delivering as a category partner, and if we show up as a trusted advisor, not just yes men and women, but people who will say no, or there's a better way, or why would you do it this way when 3 other systems are going that way, we're going to earn the right to keep selling them more. And then Nicole's built this wonderful sales organization with a great team. And I'll let you talk about all the things you've done. But to actually then come in and capitalize on the opportunities the right way by demonstrating more value, not by schlepping software for a discount.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Actually, BJ and I can talk a lot about sales organizations because we both carried a bag. And both carried a bag
Proudly,
and found ourselves to be successful because of our consultative nature and our care for customers. Not trying to break down a stereotype of what it really means to be a salesperson. And we
were just talking about this morning, right?
We were.
This 1985 view of the world of they're only money motivated.
Right.
And they're not very bright, right? But they look good in a suit. Who's even wears a suit
Right.
anymore?
I don't know what to do with all of my suits, as a matter of fact.
Right. But it still exists as stereotype. But
It does.
Talk about the profile that you've hired.
Absolutely. So the first thing we did, and I think is actually as I was coming on board in February of 22 and I started to partner with you all, first thing I said is, what is the profile of a salesperson that we want to bring into this organization? What does it look like? And sales experience was, obviously is required, but somebody who's a learner, somebody who actually can be consultative and can listen well, someone who can learn the industry that we're in and become a true consultant for the industry so you can help solve problems. And by doing that first, it led to us being able to look for a very specific type of candidate to bring into the organization. We turned, in the last year and a half, we have brought in about 2/3 of a brand new fresh sales organization who is now going to market. And as BJ said, just scratching the surface. But once they onboard, that's not where it ends. We actually just made, and thank you, another investment in sales enablement.
Multi-million dollar.
So the one thing about having a commercial CEO is that he does often, if I can prove the value, will invest in it in the business because he knows it will affect our customers and our employees. But we've been able to really work on continuous certification and education for our sales organization as well, and into our customer success organization. We just certified even our entire success org on the symplr story and the value that we bring. And that will never stop. I don't stop learning. Every single day I learn something new. In our one-on-one yesterday, I told you that very thing. And we do not expect any of our folks who are in market talking to customers to ever stop learning, because that's where we'll stop creating value. And that sometimes means telling our customer, no, we are not the right person for this need, or no, please do not implement our software that way. That is not best practice. We encourage you to do it like this. And so sometimes it requires a little bit of a tough conversation, but we do have the best of intent, and we'll continue to educate our employees so that they continue to bring that value.
Yeah, we refer to it as commercial courage. Whether or not they've got the courage to be able to say no, whether they can push back, whether they can be a true advisor. And without commercial courage, you can't do that.
I like that. I'm going to steal that if that's okay.
You should. I mean, it was heard here.
We're going to.
No, this is SBI. This is SBI. Yeah, and it's a multi-million-dollar trademark that you have license to use.
Well, I'll be your agent for that. I'll go to market for free.
Okay, good. All right, cool. I like this. I like where this is going. But it's funny. It's something that you all mentioned, and we haven't even talked about this because it's fairly hot off the press, but this is the reason why about 90 days ago, SBI actually bought a sales training company, because the demand is crazy. Yeah. I mean, we worked with you all. We built playbooks. We built processes. We got everything into the simpler way.
Yep.
But then it's got to be reinforced. So this is a market demand that was always out there. That people are like, hey, can you help us with that? So that was a market demand telling us we need to be able to continually reinforce.
Well, and there have been significant work done around this, right? HBS, I think, published something in their sales guide a couple of years ago. Learning selling organizations, learning selling cultures are sustainably the most successful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's I don't think that's an accident.
No, it is the evolution of the seller. I mean, the coin operated to the intellectually curious is kind of where it's gone. And those are the ones who succeed.
Absolutely.
All right, last question. So let's talk a little bit about the industry itself. Yeah. So lots of consolidation, lots of roll-up, hospitals buying each other all the time. I've got to imagine that creates just as much opportunity as it does chaos. So, talk to us about where the industry's going and how symplr capitalizes on it, and, what the future looks like for healthcare and how we serve it better.
Yeah, so why don't I maybe talk about some of the macro, and then you get into the real stuff. Right.
Okay.
So healthcare is super interesting, right? Remember, 3 years new to healthcare, many decades into healthcare, right? So mine is certainly some learned in the field in the last 3 years, but a very academic approach, right? And so what I can tell you is healthcare systems, be they, and let's talk about acute care systems specifically, right? Everybody knows the payers. The payers are very large organizations typically, well-financed with, demanding customers, challenging customers, technologically savvy, hard ROI, right? That's more of your classic traditional enterprise B2B sale. The non-acute, post-acute, long-term care, senior living, light touch, need very simple products that you can install quickly. A lot of expansion there, particularly in things like ambulatory centers, but also as the boomers begin to age up, right? The demands and the needs relative to serving them are really compounding. And so you're seeing a lot more of these senior care facilities emerge, and interesting market opportunity there as well, right? Not sophisticated. Technology has to be not only easy to consume, to acquire, but also easy to use. Then you talk about acute care systems, where we spend a lot of our time. These are your hospitals, right? And your hospital systems. 3 different types, right? You've got nonprofit and religious, you've got for-profit, and you've got academic medical centers. Each unbelievably unique, right? In terms of how they leverage technology, how they think about technology, how they can afford technology, even the considerations within each system, very, very, very discrete, right? But broadly, healthcare, right? Healthcare will continue to grow and outpace GDP because, again, of our aging population. Nothing's going to change that. No intervention of AI in the operating room. Any of the, the reality is these systems have been under and are continue to be under extraordinary financial pressure, right? Some of them were struggling pre-COVID. Then during COVID, elective surgeries went away. That's their moneymaker, right? Yeah. Demand is still not back to pre-pandemic levels, and where it is, staffing levels, which were also depleted pre-COVID, are now anemic. You're looking at a 43% nursing shortage in this country. You're looking at a 17% physician shortage in this country, and we have a tsunami of medical demand coming, right, as the boomers age. So I would tell you it's in a place of, I don't want to say crisis, but it's certainly at an inflection point where it has to do something differently, right? Because if you can't get the maximum productivity out of that nurse staff that you do have, you're going to be in trouble. Mm-hmm. If you can't make sure that your people are spending time on high-value tasks, not low-value tasks, you're going to be in trouble. And I think technology, many of them, I talk to CEOs and CIOs and CFOs somewhat regularly, whereas a couple of years ago, they would talk about patient safety, they would talk about compliance, they would talk about financial pressure. Now they're all talking about workforce shortages. So the key to healthcare, whatever you want to call it, 3.0 in this country is going to be really maximizing the productivity of the healthcare workforce we do have and augmenting them with technology so that we can actually get better outcomes for more patients. And then why don't you, this is where you can, Nicole can actually tell you what that means.
No, the truth is we've been talking about consolidation for the last decade, really, in this industry. If you go back even 20 years ago, there were single standalone hospitals. I live in Chicago. It was the market where I could go to one of 20 major health systems, getting in my car and going 10 or 15 minutes. Now they're owned by three major carriers. But just because the consolidation is happening, it doesn't mean it's happening and able to change the operations inside of the health system that quickly. So our key to being on the upside of the consolidation is ensuring what we've already talked about. Mm-hmm. What does our engagement look like with our customers today? What sort of value are we creating for them today? And when they remember symplr or any one of our brands that they now know is symplr because of the investment we've made there, was it positive? Okay. And so our goal here is to touch every one of our customers and create an environment where we are reaching out. Let them know that we're here. We're listening. We understand they're consolidating and actually getting in front of it. So really very tactically, right now today, in our success org, we're actually tracking consolidation. We know where our major customers are. We know the ones that have already consolidated, the ones we know and believe to be inquisitive. They're going to continue to grow. Some are going to grow in acute. Some are going to grow down market in ambulatory and buying up physician practices. And so we start to talk to them about what it might look like, give them a vision of how we can actually expand inside of their health system. So if you were to acquire another organization, here's how we would think about creating a better experience for your physicians to get them onboarded, credentialed, and then recred quicker than anybody else. So when you start to be consultative and you start to have those conversations even before it happens, you're in a better position. But Tony, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say at least some of these consolidations turn out on the wrong side for us. And that could be because they're consolidating around something different. Yeah. They're really focused on that ERP. Yeah. And in that scenario, that's not who we are. That's not what we do. Yep. And so we then start to talk about the incremental value we can add surrounding their core investments. We don't want to make their total cost of ownership in Epic or their total cost of ownership in some of our biggest competitors. Like we know who they are in UKG and others. We don't want to say that that's not valuable. It is. But then we start talking about how we can add more value or incremental value to the investments they've already made. And so sometimes it's really through consolidating even other systems. So because our portfolio is so large, we can offer them the opportunity in some areas to create more value, to get more efficient, and in some areas just a cost savings by just consolidating the 4 different contract management vendors that they have in place today, and they can work with symplr.
It's been an interesting evolution of having to compete against small point product solutions in our space to having to compete against massive multi-billion-dollar companies that serve car dealerships and fast food organizations as well. And so it's incumbent upon us to explain our differentiation. This is where selling comes in. This is what
absolutely
we love, right?
Yes.
You give me a God's honest chance to tell my story, right? And I'm going to tell you how when you have 2,000 people purpose-built for U.S. healthcare, right, versus a couple hundred-person department or division of a large multinational conglomerate that has some core tech stack, we'll win more often than we lose. And so I will tell you that the healthcare nuance, the healthcare specificity and differentiation is something I do think that creates sustainability. But we've got a lot of 800-pound gorillas that want to come into our space, and it's on us to retain the share that we have and grow. And sometimes that's to their detriment because we can do it better for these systems.
Okay. All right. So we covered a ton of ground. As we wrap up, though, I'm going to hit you with a couple of rapid-fire questions.
Okay.
So first thing that comes
Favorite
to mind.
college football team?
I'm
jumping. I'm stealing your thunder.
Don't leave the
They can edit that out. It's okay.
No, we're not going to edit that out. That's foreshadowing. All right. Nicole, first one's for you.
Oh, boy.
When you are hiring new sellers,
okay,
do you look for skill or will?
Oh, I always say I hire DNA, something I say.
Okay.
Will, I can teach you anything. I can't teach you it in the internal drive.
You're teaching him healthcare. I mean,
Yeah, but her SVP of sales and their whole team, they have, I don't even know if you guys talk about this, but they have really rallied around this concept of grit.
We have.
Right? And this sales team has grit.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of that because, again, you that's who you are.
I agree.
Right? I was in the Marine Corps. I've seen men and women that have grit, men and women that don't. Our sales team has grit. We can teach them anything.
Yep. Right on.
Totally agree. All right. So, BJ, strategic vision one for you. Do you want to compete on functional enhancements or financial savings?
Functional enhancements, because if done well, they drive the financial savings, right? I mean, we're a product company. Our products drive our outcomes.
Yep.
So it's a balanced approach, but we have world-class products that deliver world-class outcomes through a world-class team. We think about the system that way. And so feature functionality all the time, all the way.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. We're changing gears now.
Okay.
So you're about to wrap the year.
We are.
Q1. Where are you kicking back and taking a break after you post an amazing 2023?
Where?
What does that
Where?
mean?
I thought you said, are you going to? So
Where
we
are you
don't
kicking
kick
back?
back.
No,
We
I don't know
stop.
what that means. What does that question mean?
I think it's asking me, where am I going to
Ask
take a
your-
break?
All right.
What break?
We'll edit all that crap out. All right.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's good. All right.
Do it again.
So we're going to ask it another way.
Okay.
You're about to post an amazing 2023, and then you're going to get some well-deserved time to relax with your family. Beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
All right. BJ,
Sir.
today is October 17th. Who's winning the World Series this year?
Who cares? The Braves lost.
Okay. Strong point of view on that.
On everything.
All right.
Loosely.
Nicole,
Yes,
you're Italian.
I am.
If you two were in a spaghetti and meatball cooking competition, who takes home the silver platter?
Me, and it's gold.
Gold.
Time.
So he takes the silver, you get gold?
Time.
I would agree with that.
Every time.
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay. All right.
I'd give it a fighting try.
I have a hell of a meatball recipe. I heard he does too, though. We haven't tried it together yet, though. Just saying.
Just saying. All right. BJ, last one for you. I think I've heard you like the Georgia Bulldogs. Last 2 years a fluke, or do they three-peat?
First of all, you can't back-to-back fluke anything in sales or in college football. We also haven't lost in, I think,
Just answer the question.
25
I mean, we don't need stats.
You can't. We ask him about the Georgia Bulldogs, and you've opened an entire can of
My tight end just had surgery today. Listen, here's the difference between us and Alabama fans or some of the other folks out there. We are still unbelievably humble about this. We had 40 years of a drought, and we feel so lucky and so fortunate. Every game that we win is a gift. We keep winning. We're so proud of our coach because he's actually raising high quality of character men, and we're very proud of Georgia football, and honestly, proud to be an alum. My wife and I, if I were a betting man, we might be hoisting number 3 this year. We'll see.
Ooh, you heard it here. Should I follow up on Coach Smart or Coach Prime?
Sure. 25 in a row versus 4 and 3. You can follow up on that.
All right. There you go. The hype has passed now that we're in the
It
middle.
ain't hard to find, but it's hard to win, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, so
My
good.
CFO and 3 of our executives are Colorado Buff alumni, so we've had a lot of fun with this.
Hey,
Yes,
but
it
they're having a fun year.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's
It's
Fun
great
year.
to see for their
in the conversation, and
Yep.
it's great to see it. BJ and Nicole, thank you for the time today. We really appreciate you all joining us on the show. To our audience, thank you for joining us today as we heard about symplr's success story, and we appreciate you tuning in to SBI's Value Creation Corner.
You've been listening to SBI's GTM Value Creation Corner podcast. Visit sbigirls.com to read SBI's latest research, join upcoming events, or learn about SBI's GTM services. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and connect with us on LinkedIn.